Yes, hi there. This is Michael from the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT, and these comments are for Roman. Thank you for sending me an email and asking me a little bit about my 7-Step System. And now in this video, I want to take some time to look at your situation and your questions, and I'm going to take time to give you some answers. Okay, so I apologize. I have a cold right now, so I probably look terrible and I sound terrible. But anyway, let me go ahead and take a look at your question. So you say, hey Michael, my name is Roman. I'm 19 and I live in Moscow. I need a really high TOEFL score, and here's why. I want to get a master's in finance in USA, and of course I want to get from the best from the U.S. education, so I have kind of big plans. The application deadline is December, so I have to pass the TOEFL probably in the second decade of October. You probably don't want to say decade there. You probably want to say in the second half of October, which means maybe October 15th on to like October 31st, right? And then you say, because I want to make sure my test will have been scored and delivered to the university of my dream by the end of November. Hey, good luck to you. I hope that you can do this. You say, due to my big plans and lack of tons of money for one of the top universities, I want to get a scholarship which will cover part of the fee. Thus, my goal is about 115 points on the TOEFL. The feeling of having a difficult aim motivates and inspires me, because once I announce my goal, I want to make a credible showing. I haven't passed the TOEFL before, but I had actual tests from Barron's book by myself. So you're saying the practice test, right? You said, I compared my reading and listening with the keys, and here's a split. So on the reading, you say you got 25 out of 30, which is good. And on the listening, you got 25 out of 30. You say, I had no opportunity to score myself the speaking and writing, but my ex-school teacher scored me, writing 3.0, speaking 1.5. My score is about 81 points. I just need a guide who could direct my energy, and now I hope you can help me. I'm going to find a lot of time for the preparation and proceed faster than the average student. So is this possible? Isn't it? Yes, it is. It's possible. Do you think it's a real goal to get so high of a score? Can you say approximately how are we going to use almost 7 months to make me prepared for the TOEFL IBT? Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Roman. All right, Roman, yeah, let's talk about it. So to get the 115 out of 120, is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not. But I mean, let me tell you, I can help you here. So I'm not going to make any false promises. So far, people who have used my service, the highest score that I have so far is 113. That's the highest score of anybody who's ever used my system over the last year. The last year has been when I've really started to get more students. So if you do get 115 and use my service, you will be the highest. So what do we need to do? As you know, you've probably watched my video over at www.bettertoeflscores.com. You've probably read my frequently asked questions about my service, so you know there's 330 different lessons in 7 key areas: vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, reading, listening, speaking, and writing, right? So there they are. So for you, if you want 115 out of 120, even though your reading and your listening is pretty good right now, you actually have to go even higher than that. I mean, you really need to go. You want to be pretty close to 30 out of 30 on both of those sections, right? So you want to make improvements in those areas also. Now let's talk about your writing first of all. So you're scoring 3.0 out of on your writing right now. And let me go ahead and take a look at the rubrics for just a minute so we can understand more about your writing scores. So I'm going to click on some rubrics. Okay, hold on just a second. Give me a minute. Okay, let's look at the independent writing rubrics right now. So for writing, you're about 20 points out of 30. So it looks like you're having some grammar problems. You have a limited range of sentence structures and vocabulary. You have problems with your sentence formation and word choice. You have some problems in terms of organizing your ideas, and you need more development for those things. So probably the biggest challenge you face right now, and I can help you with all these areas, by the way, is your vocabulary and your grammar, and that does take time. So those are some things that you want to work on over the next few months. Let's go back to the rubrics and look at the speaking. The speaking is really your biggest, it looks like your biggest challenge right now if you're scoring 1.5 out of 4. So you're getting about 11 points out of 30 right now on the independent writing tasks and also the integrated writing task. So yeah, what you're having trouble with right now in your delivery, you're having some problems with stress, intonation. You're using what's called choppy, fragmented, or telegraphic type speech. You're leaving out prepositions, you're leaving out determiners, even auxiliary verbs. You have a lot of unnecessary pauses in your speech right now. In terms of language use, again, you have a lot of problems with your vocabulary and your grammar, just like in the writing area, that's preventing you from fully expressing your ideas. With your topic development, you're expressing only very basic ideas, and that kind of makes sense based on your language use problems right now. Alright, so what do you do? I mean, the good thing is, I think you're in a good position right now, because a lot of students come to me and they say, Michael, my test is in 2 weeks. I want 115, just like what you're saying. Can I do it? I'm going to say no. But for you, you have 7 months now. You got a lot of time to prepare. I mean, so I think you're in pretty good shape right now. My advice is go ahead and go to my website at www.bettertoeflscores.com. Go ahead and create your subscription and begin. I think for you, probably what's going to be really, really important for you, I think, for the first maybe 3 months, is I would recommend for the first 3 months of using my service, spend time with vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar areas first. So if you spend 3 months in those areas and really work hard there, that's going to benefit you later on as you begin your reading and listening type practice, and also your speaking and your writing areas. And you'll notice that at my website, in terms of speaking and writing, at this point, Roman, I have 10 independent writing practice tests. I have 10 integrated writing practice tests. And you're welcome, once you take all 20 of my writing practice tests, you can retake them, or if you have some different prompts from your Barron's book or some other TOEFL book, you can certainly practice those writing prompts also. You just need to tell me what the question is, and I'll be more than happy to score and evaluate your writing and to kind of help you go along there. So I would be more than happy to be your guide. And all you need to do is, once you're one of my students, as you begin working on the different lessons and the different steps of my 7-step system, if you have a question, you simply email me and I will help you. With the speaking area, I would recommend that you'll notice in the speaking area, I have approximately 50 different independent and integrated writing tasks right now, and you can practice all of those. And my basic rule right now is you can do one practice test per day while you're one of my students, and that way you're not overwhelming me in my system with too many practice tests, and also gives you time to make changes, I think, in your speaking. And with your speaking, Roman, once you do a practice test, you'll record it online for me and my workers to listen to, and then we'll give you some feedback. And then you make a few changes and some adjustments and kind of go from there. So I think you're in pretty good shape. So what you want to do right now, you want to really concentrate on building your vocabulary, your grammar, and you also have a lot of problems right now with your pronunciation, at least based on your score, a 1.5 out of 4. But that's exactly why I designed the 7-step system the way I did. It gives you chances to work on those problems. Now, pronunciation does take time. So I think you can make improvements. I think you can make some great improvements, and probably for you, you'll know when you're ready to take the TOEFL test when. Let me give you some basic ideas. Once you're scoring about 27 or 28 points on the writing part of the TOEFL test, on my practice test, when you're consistently scoring in that area, you're definitely ready to take the TOEFL test. Again, when you're scoring around 28 or 29 points on the speaking section of the test, on my practice test, I think you will be ready. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, you got some great goals, but you know what? I mean, you have goals here. This is what's going to push you. It's going to motivate you to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, anyway, I've probably spent way too much time at this point talking to you, but anyway, thank you for your comments. Once you're one of my students, I will support you, I'll challenge you, I'll motivate you, I will be hard on you. You might want to tell me every time you do a writing or speaking test, just say, remember, Michael, I want to score 115 on the TOEFL in October. You see what I'm saying? So keep reminding us, remind us exactly what your goal is, and we will continue to push you really, really hard. Okay? And thank you for contacting me, and I want to invite you at this point to become one of my students. And just remember, just go to bettertoeflscores.com, click on subscribe now to create your account with PayPal, and then I will send you your username and your password along with your enrollment key, and you can begin the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT.